once we start.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining. Thank you for that beautiful music by Hannah Victoria for the opening sequence. You notice I've been changing up the opening sequence every day. I'm hoping that you'll give me some comments about which opening sequence you like. I kind of like the one today because it shows who the speaker is today, right at the beginning. And so today, yes, we have a very exciting speaker. She's an entrepreneur in Tokyo, originally from Turkey. And she is a great support of her community in many ways. So we're going to talk about that. Let me bring her in. Hello, Deniz.
Hello, Joy.
Thank you for joining us today for Seeking Sustainability number 18.
My pleasure.
It's very exciting to have you here. And we have never met in person, but it's great to be able to meet you virtually and be able to talk about your life on a different part of Japan and different background. And so I'm sure we'll have a great talk today. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you, Joy.
Do you want to introduce yourself a little bit before we start?
Of course, to say it very shortly, I'm an artist. I'm like born an artist, so I call myself an artaholic. So it's really about any form, anywhere, any medium. It doesn't matter. I'm just into all kind of art since a very early age. And I've been lucky that I lived in 4 different wonderful cities. My life started in New York, upstate New York.
Oh,
and
nice.
I lived in Istanbul, where is my origin. And then we were lucky to live in Vienna and now in Tokyo. My family. I am married, and we have a 13-year-old son. And we have 2 cats, and I've always been also a pet person. And we just adopted these 2 cats, 2 brother twins in Tokyo. So, yeah. Life is exciting.
It sounds so exciting and interesting. And just before we went live, you were telling me about adopting the cats. What organization did you adopt from?
Japan Cat Network.
Okay.
So, people, especially for foreigners, it's kind of difficult to adopt a cat or a dog because, of course, the procedures can be in Japanese and they can be long. So, and maybe you don't feel so comfortable. So this is a nice network, and you can always look at their Facebook group, and there's always posts from other people who have pets available to give away.
That's great. Yeah, I know there's a few different agencies around Japan where they take the unwanted pets and they try to find new homes. And it's wonderful that you were able to support them. So you got 2 brothers, did you?
Yeah.
That's wonderful. I love this picture that you use for your business of you with your cats. Is that your adopted cats or is somebody else's cats?
Those are kitty cats. Those are kitties. Oh, sorry. Those are kitties. Those are not my cats. Are like big and not so cute anymore.
Some of the cats are so cute in your website and Facebook page, and I especially love the grumpy ones, the ones that look so unhappy all the time. Those are my favorite for some reason.
Yeah, like the super cute ones are cute, but every cat is so unique. So it's, I love them all, of course.
Yeah. I saw this beautiful photo of you in costume. Can you describe what you're wearing? Can you see it?
Sure. Let me see. I see now the one with the cats. Oh, I'm late. That's why. Okay.
Yeah, there's a bit of a delay.
Okay.
Can you see it?
Now I still see my cat, me with the little kitties.
Oh, wow.
Okay, now I got it.
You got it. Okay.
So, yeah, this is me in a very rural village in Turkey, and I was lucky enough. This is like a summer resort called Bodrum. Maybe some people even know about it. So, but what people don't know about this very touristic place, that nearby there are mountains, and in these mountains there are these hidden villages where people still preserve a shaman style culture, and they still have their authentic costumes and these like beautiful headwear and the costumes, and they make everything themselves. So, for example, the yellow headscarf you see is made of silk, and it is made from scratch by the women living in the village. So there was a circumcision celebration. Do you know what that would mean? Like for a boy. So it's a big. It's celebrated like a wedding in our culture. So everyone was dressed up, and I was like looking with a regular dress, and so they were kind enough to dress me up too.
Yeah, what a fantastic experience. Sometimes even in our own country, even in our own culture, we have so much to learn, right? So many new experiences we can have. Also, you are a musician. I see this photo of you playing out in the countryside, it looks like, and I see it behind you. Can you show us your instrument?
Of course, sure.
I'd love to see that. What is it called?
This is called a saz.
Saz. Okay.
Saz, like S-A-Z.
S-A-Z.
It is a very popular Turkish folk instrument. So basically, you sing with it and you play with it.
Can you play something very short and simple?
Yeah, if you sing with me, okay.
I sing with you. I can try. I want to hear it. Nice. Yay. Fantastic. How long did you study how to play it?
Just 4 years. I'm really a beginner, so you say I'm a musician, but yeah, I'm just a beginner. And yeah, it's just interesting enough, I started in Japan. So as you say, when you're in a different country, your perspective about your own country also changes. Maybe you see from a different perspective. So that was the case for me too, I guess.
Wow, interesting. And how did you start in Japan? You can find classes in Japan?
Yeah, I do online classes.
Okay.
Teachers from Turkey. So that was the era before COVID.
Well, you should still be able to do online classes, I hope, right?
Of course. Yeah, I mean, it started before COVID, and now I still take Japanese class online and my music online.
Wow. It's becoming such an online world, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah. Also, more connected to the business that you started, this is a beautiful picture of you doing crochet class. So have you been doing crochet for a long time?
Not very long time, actually. I've been into weaving, and crochet is something that was kind of grandma-ish or outmoded. I would never think I would be crocheting one day. But then when I get into it, I really enjoyed it so much. It's gives very rewarding craft to do. And so, yeah, that's how I started with one basket, and then I just kept doing it.
Wow, interesting. I love the community aspect of it, how you can do a class or crochet together and chat. It seems perfect for groups of women to get together and chat and talk about stuff.
Right.
You also, go ahead.
I did some crochet classes with in some private places. Also, I was organizing a chat and crochet group like before the COVID stuff began. So it did start rolling, and yeah, I hope to continue it some way because yeah, it is very rewarding and very relaxing. You just really forget about what's happening, your problems. Your only thought is like, oh, what color should I do next? Oh, I want to do one more row, and you can really stop cooking or do anything else.
No, it's a good way to kind of free your mind up of stress or things you're worried about, right? And you could probably do that online. You could probably get crochet groups together and give some advice about how to do it and chat as well. That might be kind of fun. I saw
Yeah,
that you had posted about female entrepreneurs
yeah,
event, Women of Impact.
right.
Did you attend that? You said you enjoyed meeting these women.
Oh, yeah, yeah, that was nice. Oh, yeah. I really love to hear the stories of every person is a story. You know, whenever I meet a person, I say, I wonder what kind of treasure is there. But, you know, especially women's stories and entrepreneur women's stories are just so fascinating to me. So I try to always hear as much as possible. That is one of my daily tasks, I think.
That's great. I had a chance last year to go back to America and I attended a Women in Clean Tech and Sustainability conference. And I had no idea what it was going to be like, but it was so inspiring and, listening to all these different women running their own businesses and just going for it. And it was so amazing, and I felt, oh yes, I can do something too. It's so inspired, really fantastic.
Yeah, I love to see these examples in Japan and also worldwide. I listen to a lot of podcasts. Like so much information is available, which is so inspiring.
Yeah, we need, especially now during the coronavirus, I think everybody's kind of at a lull, like what are we going to do next? So having these online seminars or information online or podcasts really can help a lot. Do you have any podcasts you would recommend?
Now I am listening one which is for product maker entrepreneurs, which is called Proof to Product.
Mm-hmm.
And before that, I was listening to what okay, I forgot that one. Anyway, Proof to Product is really good for any crafter who wants to turn their business into their craft into a business. It's very nice, and on the podcast you meet all these women who are, as you say, that started from scratch and found their ways, and they tried and it worked, it didn't work, and they have families, they have this and that, and it's just wonderful. You learn so much, and it's free information.
That's great. I'm trying at the moment to get all of these great talks, these live stream talks, and converting the audio files to make my own podcast for this series, because I think a lot of people, especially because these are long, right? They're an hour long. I really hope some people will just put it on and garden, or listen while they walk. I think podcast audio is really a great medium to communicate, right?
Right.
I also saw you were recommending Freewheeling Japan. Can you tell us about your experience with them? I hadn't heard about them. You did a bike tour with Freewheeling Japan?
Yeah. So in the COVID situation, like my family, we are all of us at home in front of the screen mostly all day. So it was really hard to, get some action, although we did try to exercise. So as a family, this could be something we'd like to do, just to go cycling. So we were looking for a guide, and then we ran into this organization. And now, since like 4 weeks, every week we went to somewhere else. And the last week we went to Narita. No, not Narita, sorry, Haneda. So that was our challenge. From the middle of Tokyo, we went to Haneda and came back. That was 40 kilometers. And
wow, good ride.
just like, of course, you can always have a navigation, but it's not the same thing.
Yeah. No, having a guide that will take you down the less busy routes, the more scenic routes, definitely guides can help so much, have a better experience. And you feel more relaxed, right, with a guide, I think.
Right. You don't have to plan the route and you don't have to watch your navigation. It was really cool. It's really cool. Yeah. I wonder what we're going to do next Sunday. I'm looking forward.
Oh, nice. Good. Yeah, I think being outdoors, being on a bicycle is easy to social distance because your bicycle is almost exactly the right distance. Uh-oh, one of my cats. This is the first time the cat has been in the live stream. Okay. He's very active. He's been sleeping all day. Okay.
Wow.
Okay, that was a bit exciting. All right, another thing that you were recommending, which I hadn't heard about, is a bookstore in Tokyo. Support and save What the Dickens and Infinity Books, Beer, Books, and Ballads. Is that?
Yeah, like kind of sister brother institutions. I've been to Infinity Books once, and they always like support like local people, and it's really nice, like a meeting point. And What the Dickens has been a major, like a second home for me, especially when I came to Tokyo and I didn't know anyone. I just met so many people, so many talented artists and writers there, and as I see them like my second home, I would do anything to support that they go through this time.
Yeah, that's great. It's really hard for small businesses. So I think in this post, you're talking about buying coupons, buying pre-sale tickets for future events. So that will give them some funding now when they have no customers. And then hopefully they won't have to close, right? They can keep going.
And you can use that coupon of beer later, like when they open, you can always go and use it. So it's very fair. I mean, nothing to lose. Yeah. I'm gonna go anyway.
Yeah, I'm gonna go anyway. So it gives the owner a bit of security during this insecure, worrying time, right? I like this idea of buying coupons or buying pre-order now. I think that's a great way to support businesses. Good idea. I also saw a picture of you doing a play. Was that at one of these bookstores? You and Sarah Jean were doing
Yeah. So together with Rachel Walzer and Sarah Jean Rosotto, they had this project again about 6 stories of 6 women from that really had very big difficulties, and they did manage to go forward. So I wanted to support the project and know about it more by acting in it. So that was a wonderful experience.
Nice. So since you've been in Tokyo, you've been a musician and an actor and an artisan making your own craft. Now you're an entrepreneur, business owner. What's next? That's a lot. That's a lot. Well done.
Thank you.
Also an activist. We want to talk a little bit about your activities with Amnesty and anti-nuclear protests. So you've also been active speaking out against injustice. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I was always involved in a way or another with NPOs and NGOs also before Tokyo. So this is something that I like to do. So here I got involved with Amnesty International, and the Japan branch has also a subdivision for non-Japanese speakers or like a more English and foreigners community. Which was also very welcoming in the times that I feel overly stressed about political issues. it's so great to see that others are also like so frustrated just as you are. And I felt very welcome and very like-minded people. So, and to learn more about Japan as a very developed country, what are the problems? I enjoyed to learn that there are mainly 4 topics that Amnesty is working on. Like one is the refugee problem and how Japan handles the refugee problem. And the second one would be the anti-nuclear. And then the third would be gender issues with LGBT and women's situation. And the fourth is the death row. So they're all very interesting for me. And we have this list that comes from the Central Amnesty and there are some call to action. So they provide us with people around the world who are activists and that need urgent attention of the world. So we try to support the cases, but we also have our local agenda about Japan. So it's really cool.
Yeah, and I think it's great, all the work that Amnesty International does for human rights around the world. And one of the main activities, I believe, is writing letters. Is that right?
That's true. Yeah, that's the main activities. And it is proven that letter campaigns do work. So let's say there's a journalist in our country that is arrested or under threat. So we write dozens and dozens of letters from all around the world to officials, and it does make an impact. I mean, even for community building, it's a nice way to bring like-minded people together.
Yeah. And the one poster you're holding for Release Taner Kilik, is it? Is he from Turkey? Is that right?
Yeah. Yes. He was the head of Amnesty in Turkey, so he was also detained for a time, and that's why, we spoke about that too.
Yeah. So is this at a rally in Tokyo?
Yes, that was a rally, yeah.
Yeah, so like you said, it's great to have that camaraderie, to be around other people who have the same, I guess, outrage about problems that are happening. And like until COVID, I was meeting with people once a month and we would do cleanups at the river because one of my outrage points is about plastic pollution, right? So it really helps when you get around other people and you share the same worry, right? And then you can support each other. And even though you can't fix the problem, you feel better, right? You somehow feel a little better. So I do think mentally it does help a lot. And like you said, letter writing does work. That's fantastic. Yeah. So if people are interested in volunteering with Amnesty, they have a very good website. Amnesty International Japan has a good section. They have groups all around Japan, I believe. So it's pretty easy to find a group wherever you are.
Right.
I found this photo. You were doing a fundraiser, basket weaving for Fukushima. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Oh yeah, that is one we did together with a Japan Cat Network that I just mentioned about. So I remember that we had some of my baskets and products, so we were selling them to raise some money for. Did they have? I forgot exactly how was it connected to Fukushima actually. So, but we did a collaboration. So I tried to support some NPOs also with my product as much as I can.
That's great. It says crochet fundraiser for a cat shelter in Fukushima. So during the Fukushima crisis, there were a lot of people who had to leave their homes, and the shelter did not allow pets. And then, of course, there were people who died and the pets were abandoned. So it's really nice that they had this fundraiser for the cat shelter in Fukushima. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
I like your, I couldn't download the video, but the video was really cute on your page. It was like a time lapse. I like doing the time lapse because it has such nice action that repeats, right? Let's talk a little bit about your products. So you use like a hula hoop for weaving. Can you explain the process a little bit?
Yeah, hula hoop weaving is not something I do for my work. This is something that I teach. It's a very fun DIY way to make a small rug or like a cushion cover or a small, rug mainly. So it is really fun to weave it, and anyone can just learn it quite easily and just to create the colors. So we use a simple hula hoop, and then we make a loom on it, and we divide it into parts like a pizza, and then we start weaving between it, and people can finish it in like 2 sessions or 3 sessions. So I did this workshop at a school. The one at the photo is in my son's school, and in my own studio, and it's a good way for hand coordination for kids. And so after this, I switched to crochet, which is a little bit more advanced technique, and which allows you to make patterns, and you can make a 3D body with crochet. And so I switched to crochet after that.
Wow. It seems perfect for kids, this kind of hula hoop technique, right?
Yeah,
Because it's so easy to control.
right.
With the crochet needle, I get really confused. I've tried it a few times and I get really frustrated. Even when I watch it on YouTube and I'm like, what? How did, what? But when I saw the hula hoop technique, I was like, I can try that. That looks like something I could try. I like that. So the basket, oh, this is you with the hoop. Is this you teaching a class at your
Yeah,
son's school, maybe?
right.
So are these hula hoops already there, or did you make the hula hoop as well?
No, just everyone can bring their own hula hoop, or I can also provide them. Like it's just you just buy in a toy shop or in a yen shop, so very basic material.
Yeah. I think that's something you could do online. You could have a hula hoop crochet basket making class online. I'm sure that would be fun.
Oh yeah.
There's another basket here. Oh, so this is more complicated, making the basket in this way, or is this the next process? You have, it looks like a young woman doing a brown basket. Can you see
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, this is crochet. This is exactly how we are producing our baskets now.
So your
Yeah.
baskets, you were saying, can you talk about where your baskets are made?
Now they are made in Saitama, where I have a woman from Turkey who are at home, and of course they have families and their responsibilities. So as an entrepreneur, as much as I'm trying to be, there is always this social aspect to it, which I'm trying to avoid. Anyway, so I'm working with these women, so trying to create an opportunity for them to work at home also, and they are, as I said, from Turkey, so they learn from a very young age how to do handwork. It's a very common thing in their villages, and they have this tradition of making carpets and kilims. So they just pick up like so quickly, and they're just amazing. They can do any pattern and in a perfect manner. So yeah, they are making the baskets mostly now. I don't make them so much anymore.
Yeah, that it looks like a very long process. About how long does it take?
Each basket would be around 8 hours. Yeah, depending on the size and the pattern.
Wow. Let's see. let's look a little bit at the material. So the company that you get the material from, can you introduce them a little bit?
Oh, sure. Yeah. I can also show like how the material looks like before it's crocheted. So this is a ball of t-shirt yarn. So what is t-shirt yarn? Yeah, from the name you can imagine that you have a t-shirt and then you can cut it into stripes and then you can use it as a yarn. If this is true. But after the second t-shirt yarn, you may notice that it gets kind of like tiring too. It's not as easy as it looks to cut a t-shirt into like even pieces. So you can then use this t-shirt yarn that you can find in shops as a DIY material. And yeah, this is so t-shirt yarn, so I can show you also. You can find in different colors. So this is how it looks. Like this is a cotton one.
So it's a bit thicker than normal yarn, is that right?
Oh, yeah, that's correct. So
and the company is ReTwisst, is that right? ReTwisst.com?
Yeah, ReTwisst, so I can show you ReTwisst.com.
From the UK, I think, right?
It's from UK, but it is available also in Japan, and I am also one of the distributors of this yarn. And so there are two kinds of t-shirt yarn. One is totally 100% upcycled, like the one I use, and the others are made from fabric that is like just made for that purpose, which is not upcycled. And always this, you know, guts in your throat and makes you want to do the right thing. Of course, I always choose to get this upcycled yarn. And as you were also mentioning, it's cheaper actually. So Eco is sometimes cheaper.
Sometimes, yeah. It sometimes goes hand in hand. Yeah. So if you're buying something that is handmade and it is higher quality, you can use it for longer. It is also cheaper, right? But sometimes actually comparing new material and recycled material, it is cheaper, and that's actually quite unusual. This poster says how recycled yarn is generated. It comes from the website for the ReTwisst. So it's talking about cotton cultivation, manufacturing, and recycling. And the website has a lot of really clear information. They're very transparent about how they make the material. They also have this graphic, how much 1 kilogram of recycled yarn saves. So it talks about the land use and the water use and the energy use and the impact on the climate, the carbon impact. They process 6.5 million kilograms of textile waste each year. So with the fast fashion industry, we have so much textile waste around the world. So it's great that they're taking so much of that. Well, it's just a fraction of it, but they're taking, it sounds like a lot, but in the whole world, that's just a tiny, tiny bit. But that's wonderful that they're using 6.5 million kilograms of textile waste every year. It's fantastic.
And they are saving, there's also the second number, which is mind-blowing, 52 million tons of water by doing this.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it is.
And on the website, they've got so many beautiful photographs of different products. So you're making the pet baskets, but they've got shawls and bags. Have you been making other products as well?
Not really, no. Yeah, I like the t-shirt yarn mostly because it's kind of rewarding because it's thick, it finishes quicker. Like once I made a yarn blanket for my niece and that was it. Like those are projects that take months and months.
Yeah.
You know, to finish a blanket. It's like, I don't know, a couple months and
Yeah.
I don't
So
know.
when your friend or when your grandmother gives you a gift of something which is crocheted, please appreciate it because it takes so long, right?
I told myself when my son was born, you know, I had all these gifts and I didn't appreciate it at all. Now I wish they were here, but I give it away without any awareness.
I know. I'm sure I've gotten gifts before and just been like, oh, this is nice. Did you make it? But like, I didn't realize, oh my goodness, how long they spent on it. This is from the ReTwisst YouTube. So they have all these tutorials. Well, they'll show you how to do the crochet for the different products, baskets or bags or anything. So if you have time, they have a really good YouTube channel as well. Let's see. Oh, this is the yarn, like you showed, the t-shirt yarn. So you said you can get it in Japan. You're a distributor for the material as well.
Yes.
Great. So if somebody wanted to get the material, they don't have to order from the UK shop. They can
No.
contact you directly.
Yeah. And I can say the prices are much more cheaper than if they go to any department store to buy it. So yeah, we have all the colors available and they will really enjoy it.
That's great. And do you also sell the kits? I noticed on the UK shop they have different kits. So bags with everything you need to do different projects. Do you also have that?
I don't have those, no. I offer a variety of colors and the hooks also I provide.
Oh, the hooks.
Yeah.
The crochet, is it needle?
Yeah.
What's it called? Yeah. Yeah, good. So how has it been starting your own business? Have you had any hurdles or successes, or what do you like about promoting the products and what's difficult for you? Let's talk a little bit about your business startup. It's always hard to start a new business, right?
Yeah, when you're not aware, it's easier. That when you're not aware of what's waiting for you, maybe you have this courage of not knowing things. So I'm a person who really loves to learn new things. So it's the learning thing is the most exciting for me. To have to learn so much about launching a business, which is of course very different from being an artist, and a big shift. And you know, we have this COVID now, and everything became even more complex. So. But on the way, as we were just mentioning, you meet wonderful people and you meet the pets, but to know their owners also, I think, is the most fun of the part, and be creating something and really to serve someone with something that has a good footprint and something they can use. And when we make a basket, I mean, they put it in their living room and it's living with them all the time, every day. And they look at their pets like lying in it. So it is something very special. And when someone chooses to have my product in their living room every day, it's an honor for me.
That's wonderful. So when you started your business, what was your reason to want to start the business? Like where you were already doing Crochet Circle, already making some products. Did you get some advice from friends or family to get started?
I was in a research a bit, like after the intense like acting and performance time, I was a little bit tired to go out at night and have to travel, and the nightlife was starting to get like tiring for me. So I wanted to have a day job. And yeah, I was in searching, and then I had some encouragement from friends and saying, oh, the pet industry is so good in Japan. Your pet baskets will be really successful. So I did have some encouragement. And then I met the distributor by coincidence of ReTwisst in Japan. And then I knew these ladies who I knew they could do it. So it's like from 3 parts, things came together. And I had 2 cats, who I can try on all the time if my pets, if they like it or not. So like 4 things came together.
Wow, good. And you're trying new things. I saw you tried a pet chat live stream.
Yeah.
How did that go? You were trying to get the pets to talk on the live stream? How did it go?
It was fun. It's like not the pets get to talk, but it's more like, of course, the owners are there and your pet is next to you. So you get to know each other's pet and see what they're doing. It's really fun.
That's such a cute idea. Did you see that somewhere else, or is that your original idea?
Yeah, it's kind of my original idea, but it's now a common thing on Instagram where you have a cat account and they do a live stream. So usually they live stream what the cat is doing. So this chit chat thing is something I added.
Mm-hmm.
Because, yeah, I like to also talk with the people and get to know them.
And on your bio, you said you speak 5 different languages. Are you doing all the Japanese yourself? That's really cool.
Actually, I speak, I didn't have time enough. Actually, I speak 8 languages. So I didn't have time to like type them all. So Japanese is my 8th language. And, but it's a survival level. So I have some help from someone else to do the Japanese translations that I use.
But you said you're also studying Japanese online, is that right?
That's true, but it's kind of like a very lazy student.
No, it's hard. How often are you studying? When I first came to Japan, I had 1 group lesson a week and 1 individual lesson, and that really helped because the individual lesson was just about study. You need to study this. Go home and study this. I'm going to test you next week. She was a very strict teacher. And then the group lesson was like, they just wanted us to practice talking. So that was actually a really good combination to have both.
Yeah, I have once a week through Skype, so it's very loose, but at least it still, keeps me awake. But after I think things get to normal, I think I will be out and communicating more, and that will give me a chance of practicing. Because of course, if you don't practice, you can't learn.
Yeah. How long have you been in Japan? How many years?
7 years.
7 years, yeah. For me, when I first came to Japan many years ago now, the first 3 years, I was trying so hard to study so much and learn so much. And whenever I walked around, I would carry a notebook. And all the kanji I saw, all the characters I saw, I would write it down. And then I would take it to my class and I'd be like, what is this? What is this? Because I always see this. So instead of just studying from the book, because you're not necessarily going to be able to use what's in the book, right? So I often saw certain characters, so I wrote it down, and those are the ones I studied. And then when I saw it again, I had already asked my teacher, so I should be able to remember, right? So that's my hint for you. I would write down the characters that you see. Can you guess which character I learned first? I was 20 years old, just came to Japan. We had a lot of parties. Sake. So the first kanji I learned, difficult kanji, was sake, because it's so beautiful. I love the character for alcohol for sake. Let me see. I'm not very good at rewriting it. Let's see. How did I do? Did I get it? Can you see it? We never write by hand anymore, right? Now it's all computers. So I can cheat, and I can get my Google to help me with the correct kanji, right?
Yeah, there are so many things of tricking now. it's like you almost don't need to learn Japanese. I mean, you can translate everything on Google, and yeah, it's just so many services available.
Yeah. How are you finding life in Tokyo? You said you were living in New York, you were living in Istanbul and Vienna. How does your life in Tokyo compare to all the different places you've lived before?
Well, it's maybe in many ways opposite of Vienna. Like in Vienna, I knew almost the name of almost every city, every street. And here, it's like a total discovery every day. Like it's just, you get the sense of infinity in Tokyo. That's what I get. The infinity of streets, of people, of buildings, of shops, of opportunities, of while in Vienna, it's like you know what to expect, and yeah, it's very different. But yeah, very also I enjoyed Vienna very much. But when for my husband's assignment, they told us that if we would like to go to Tokyo, I was thrilled. I was like so happy and something I would never have imagined in my life.
What has there been anything that you particularly love about being in Tokyo or are very surprised about? How about the crowded trains in Tokyo? I've never lived in Tokyo, but I've visited many times, and for me, that is something that's so hard to get used to is the crowded trains in the morning. And especially now with coronavirus, you know, you don't want to be in a crowded train, right?
Yeah, I'm lucky I don't have to get it. I get on such a train like every day,
Oh,
and
that's
when I'm on it, it's kind of like people are like very kind, and you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about your bag or your body or whatever.
No, that isn't that a fantastic thing about Japan is the safety issue, right? And
Yeah.
like yesterday, talking to Selena Hoy, and she wrote an article about the safety of Japan and children going to school on the trains and feeling safe that they can travel by themselves. And that's a reflection of community support, right, in Japan, as well as general safety. I love this picture of you at a crochet picnic, it looks like, in Tokyo.
Yeah, that was fun. That was from the workshop we did for Japan Cat Network. So there were people who could join us and learn how to crochet or buy material or buy a basket, and that was supporting also Japan Cat Network. And yeah, there were kids and adults, women and men, and I still have contact with those people. It's nice. It was something real.
That is really nice. And it's hard to imagine how we're gonna do any kind of group get-togethers again, right? After
Right.
Corona. But hopefully outside and sitting a little bit further apart will still be okay, I hope. We had a comment from Periscope. Mehmet Gerherk says selam.
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
Is
Ona da merhaba, selam.
that's a nice greeting from Periscope. That's nice. Um, are you going to be in Tokyo for a while, you think? Are you guys here for a little bit?
Yeah, it looks like we will be here for a while.
That's good. And let's talk about from your website, anything happening now? You had a yarn sale, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we did 1 day discount opportunity, like a 30% big discount. And actually, I was planning also to, as we were chatting, maybe to introduce myself a little bit more the following month. And yeah, I was thinking like, what would be interesting for people? What would be like too personal? Like, why do I see this photo of this woman? So maybe you can give me advice. Like, it's hard for me to know, like, what's the boundary? Why do they want to see my graduation photo? Why do they want to see grandma's?
Well, maybe not like that. I have to give credit to Gary V. if you like podcasts or you like listening to people for inspiration, Gary V, find it, Garyvee, and he gives such great advice. And one of the things he always says is just keep getting your content out, and some of your content from your thoughts and your hurdles and things happening with you, because you are your brand, you are your company, and people want to buy from people that they admire and respect and appreciate. And if they get to know you as the owner, then they'll be more interested in buying your products. So I think that was before we went to air, I was giving you some advice to add some more personal information on your website is a really good way for the customer to get to know you. So maybe more normal stuff, like when you wake up and you're getting ready to do something for the company. Are you talking to people who are making the product? You could just put on Instagram about having coffee and talking to your makers, you know, something as normal as that. Or you just want your customer to see you as a person, right? Instead of seeing you as a business, a big business with no face, right? So when I was listening to Gary Vee last month, and all of my work for tourism had disappeared, and I was getting kind of depressed, and what am I going to do? And I have no work coming in. He really inspired me to start this podcast series, this live stream series, and really try to connect with people doing interesting things around Japan and talk about other people's stories and other people's passion for sustainability, and then try to bring that all together into a series. I never expected I'd be doing it every day, and it's a real challenge. It's like a job, but to me, it's like my ideal job. I would love to be a talk show host, journalist, researcher, teacher, you know, and it's like a combination of many things that I've done before. I was teaching for a long time. I was teaching business, you know. I was a writer for a long time. So, yeah, I think, like you said as well, listening to seminars, listening to podcasts, listening to other people's advice who they went through it or they're trying to be entrepreneurs, it can spark new ideas for you about how you can do it. What's your next step, right?
And especially, I did have a look in some of your live streams, and the thing is, like, as a foreigner, you feel, oh, I can't do this. I don't know the language. And when you see all these foreigners who did like amazing things, it's very encouraging. Otherwise, you live in your daily life and you don't know what's going on. But yeah, I found it very supportive in that way.
Yeah, good. Well, I'm really glad to hear that. And it's so nice to connect with you. And, you know, when I'm in Hiroshima, quite often, a lot of the foreigners I meet are English teachers. That's like a standard for our area. But in Tokyo, I think you have a lot more different kinds of careers that people have, international people who are living there, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So for you to try to start a new basket crochet business catering to pets, I think it's wonderful. I really want to support you. Go for it.
Thank you so much, Joy.
Is there anything else you want to talk about before we finish? We've got a few more minutes.
I mean, I can maybe advise if you feel like there's a little spark in you to try to do some handwork, I would really recommend just get a ball of t-shirt yarn and maybe type in Google crochet for beginners And yeah, just go for it. And they can always send me a message if they want to ask any questions about crocheting. And they can get ideas on internet and also on our website and make something for their pets. And I can say anyone can do it. A beginner can also do it. And it will be your pet will be happy. You will be happy. So give it a try.
That's great. About how long does it take to make one of the baskets?
Like for a beginner, an easy one, I think people can do it in 2 hours with some guidance. So yeah, it's not difficult.
And this is your website. Let me get you in here. Such cute pictures. Are these your cats or your friends' cats or models?
The white cats are all my cats. You like them or not?
They're so cute. And I love when cats look grumpy. It's my favorite. But the little pink heart basket cat is so tiny little kitty.
Yeah.
So
That's
cute.
a cattery company that we work together, so they love my baskets also. So we shoot the kitties together.
Yeah, really good photographs. It's you can tell that someone who understands about photography and lighting is helping take the photos. Very nice.
Introduce my photographer, Naomi-san. She is a professional pet photographer.
Oh, wow.
This is something a very niche photography, and yeah, it's not like just a random person coming with a camera, but she's like jumping from the floor to the ceiling, from one corner to another to pick a shot, because a cat doesn't stand still. They do what they want. They don't do what they're told to.
Of course.
So
yeah.
She's another big contributor in the project.
Isn't that an expression? It's as difficult as herding cats, because trying to move cats to where you want them to be is very difficult. So finally, at the end, people can find you on, please tell the name of your website.
Sweet Dream Baskets.
So .com.
Spelling, yeah, sweetdreambaskets.com. And I'm also reachable on Instagram. If they type in Sweet Dream Baskets, I will pop up. And on Facebook, I will pop up. And in our website, we have a chat page, a chat section also. They can send me a message. I'm looking forward for messages and to hear from everybody.
That's great. And I wish you the best. You have so many projects and activities which help your community and support other people, and you're using upcycled material in your products. So I think on many levels, you have a very sustainable business, and I hope you can do well. Good luck.
Thank you, Joy. I'm so proud of being a part of this wonderful series.
Oh,
good luck with you, and I'm looking forward for your next guests.
Thank you very much. Yes, thank you everybody who is watching today. This week, all of our talks will be at 5 o'clock. So today we had 5 o'clock. Tomorrow, Wednesday, also 5 o'clock with, oh my goodness, I'm drawing a blank. Anyway, every day at 5 o'clock, and you can check the schedule, which I have posted. Melanie Brock, oh my goodness. Tomorrow, 5 o'clock, Melanie Brock, who's an entrepreneur and translator in Tokyo for many years. She's been a part of World Cup Rugby, of the Olympics. She's helped out in Tohoku a lot. She did the Celebrating Women of Japan project last year. Thursday, we have Robin Lewis, who created Social Innovation Japan and the MyMizu app. And Friday, we have Marissa and her team who make the eco wraps, you know, the eco hachi wraps instead of plastic wraps. So we're going to talk to them about some of the projects that they're doing. So yeah, really exciting. Lots of exciting talks ahead. And thank you so much, Deniz. Thank you for sharing your ideas with us. And good luck with all you do, yeah? Have a good day.
Thank you. You too.
Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for joining.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.